In the end of last year, the Russian Center for Science and Culture in New Delhi successfully hosted a festival of Venezuelan cinema. We are glad that now we have the opportunity, privilege and pleasure to demonstrate Venezuelan films. I wish full success to our film festival and full prosperity to the people of Venezuela. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dmitriev. Russian Center of Science and Culture in Kolkata, Eisenstein Cine Club, and Friends of Latin America jointly organize this unique session of Venezuelan films for a week-long program. Venezuela as a country is not very much known to the people of Kolkata, but nowadays Venezuela is always in the forefront of the newspapers and media. Venezuela has created its own prestigious place of honor of fighting exploitation, fighting colonialism for the people of the people. And Venezuela as a country has created sensation of the 21st century by creating many interesting achievements in their life. I believe the Honorable Ambassador is here. She will tell us much more about it, so I am not going into details about it because we are having also a film session. I would now like to request the Secretary of Friends of Latin America India's Kolkata chapter, Mr. Shuman, to please welcome our guests with flowers and gifts. Now is to Mr. Vladimir Dmitriev, Vice Consul and Director of the Russian Center for Science and Culture, who never said no or impossible to organize this program here. Rather, he welcomed us with the proposal when we requested for this program. To Mr. Bikash Bhattacharya, former mayor of the city and a leader of the Friends of Latin America's movement, who needs no introduction to you. And now to Professor Omio Bakchi, who also needs no introduction to you, who is the President of Friends of Latin America's Bengal chapter. Taking this opportunity, I would like to request Mr. Bikash Bhattacharya, former mayor of this city, to say a few words.
Good evening, my friends. The president of this occasion, Professor Bakchi, and our honored guest, who has been inspiring us in the city from today morning, the Ambassador of Venezuela. Nothing much to talk about. Venezuela has really caught the imagination of the younger generation of the country nowadays. Venezuela is the symbol of spirit and fight against American imperialism, which they have been fighting a street battle. We always expect and believe that Venezuela will ultimately show the way to the downtrodden people of the world to unite and fight together to achieve their own freedom. With these few words, and again I say I'm very happy that she's a lawyer. When I was introducing myself as a practicing lawyer, she smiled and said, I am also a lawyer, and that's true. The lawyers are the front runner to speak about the people's freedom and fight for them. There we stand together. Welcome, madam. Go on fighting, we are with you. Namaskar, namaskar.
Thank you, Mr. Bhattacharya. I never knew that you are also a clannish. So now we would like to request Madam Coromoto Godoy Calderon, Honorable, respected Ambassador of Venezuela. Please welcome her.
Namaste. Allow me please to say, first of all, to express how happy I feel to be in the progressive land of Kolkata. It's an honor to be here. Honorable Vladimir Demetriv, Vice Consul General and Director of the Russian Center of Science and Culture in Kolkata, Honorable Vikash Rajan Bhattacharya, I hope I say it properly, former mayor of Kolkata and a dear friend to Venezuela. Professor Anija Bacci, President of Friends of Latin America in India, dear friends. First of all, I would like to begin by thanking the Honorable Alexei Idankin, Consul General of the Russian Federation in Kolkata, and the Honorable Vladimir Demetriv, Vice Consul General and Director of the Russian Center for Science and Culture in Kolkata, for opening the door of this beautiful center to present the Venezuelan film exhibition and for the sustained support of the Russian Federation to Venezuela and its revolutionary government and its people. Also, I would like to thank the Friends of Latin America organization, FOLA, for this invitation to come to Kolkata and also for your sustained support to the Venezuelan people. The struggle Venezuela is facing today is not a Venezuelan struggle alone. It is a struggle for the right for the people of the world to a life in peace. We want to live in peace. We don't ask for more. The right to self-determination of the peoples. Today, we are you, and in your own struggle, we see ourselves struggling also for the betterment of our nation and the peoples of the world, and let's say, of the people of the South. To speak of Venezuelan cinema is to speak of more than 120 years of history, of a cinema that shows the richness of a country, not only from the landscapes, but also because of our culture and peculiarities. A cinema that, despite suffering a brutal economic blockade on the part of the United States and its allies, continues to grow, reinventing ways to make more and better cinema day by day. The cinematography of Venezuela enjoys great prestige, which is why an important amount of films have been made in co-production mode, not only with Latin American countries, but also with European countries. In Venezuela, there is a significant capacity to develop any audiovisual project. At the same time, it has a solid legal framework which provides support to the existence of the National Autonomous Center of Cinematography, governing body of the cinema in our country, as well as the Fund for Promoting Cinema, which is a parafiscal fund that allows to collect resources from the different national stakeholders of the film industry. This fund is used in the production and promotion of films, but also for the preservation of film heritage of Venezuela. Venezuela has all the elements of the cinema chain, a state-owned production player called Villa del Cine, with recording studios, post-production facilities, set-up workshops and costumes, as well as the necessary technical and human resources for any audiovisual production. In 2019, the nation celebrated 11 years of the creation of the Villa del Cine Foundation. In this context, President Nicolás Maduro said, and I quote, "We must contribute in the national cinema, for the national creation, for the co-productions, for Latin American and the Caribbean, and with all those who want to come to co-produce cinema as a human expression to continue advancing in this field." So we don't want to make cinema for the rich, we don't want to make cinema to lie to the people. We want to make cinema to show up our reality, our values, and to make our people to feel proud of what we are. President Maduro emphasized on that important role that cinema has in the national culture, saying that we must continue to invest in culture, in cinema, in the capacity of infrastructure and logistics to continue moving forward. The cinema has to take another lap this year in production and building capacity for national and international penetration to show the talent and the beauty of Venezuela, but also to talk the truth of Venezuela. We know that the Americans, they have Hollywood. Well, Venezuela, in a very humble way, is developing its own cinema, so we can show the world how we think, how we feel, how we are as people of the South. Villa del Cine has played an essential role in the relaunching of cultural values. Its production generated more than 100 films and has been recognized with more than 130 national and international awards. Proof of this is the varied collection that is part of this Venezuelan film exhibition that we inaugurate here in Kolkata with the support of the Russian Cultural Center and our dear comrades of Friends of Latin America and FOLA. In addition to the Villa del Cine, we have a national film distributor called Amazonia Films, which has a catalog of Venezuelan films for international distribution. Moreover, Venezuela has an immense human talent, which is evidenced in frontline casting that shows that acting quality of our artists. Because all of this potentiality, we have called Venezuela an audiovisual destination, a country with all the necessary requirements to make this audiovisual dream a reality. In this context, the cultural policy implemented by the Bolivarian government and the cinematographic orientation aims to restore indigenous values and projects that projects the beauty of the authentic Venezuela, the real Venezuela, opposed to the dominant culture imposed by the center of the world cultural power. Before the revolution, before President Chavez coming to power, it was the culture in Venezuela was dominated by foreigners, because it was not about us. It was an attack from abroad to make us change, to make us feel different, to make us want to be like others when we wanted to be proud of our own. In this way, the country's social and cultural movements have been important, very important, have been incorporated in a very important way into the national film industry to make a new audiovisual paradigm. Independent film festivals, short festivals, all kinds of audiovisual expression has been successfully promoted to incorporate the people into the production of the context and national cultural values. We have decided that we cannot be mere consumers of cinema. We have to be protagonists of the creation of the new cinema. This week, you can see a part of the Venezuelan cinema with films that have toured the world, some have won awards in film festivals, and others have successfully gained popularity among audience in the country. We invite you all to enjoy the celebration of Venezuelan cinema, and please look at Venezuela as a place that you would like to visit. Venezuela, the real Venezuela, is open to the future, a future of self-determination, independence, a future of unity with the people of the South. Once again, I want to express my gratitude to all of you for being here tonight, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I bring a solidarity message from Venezuelan government, from the Venezuelan people to the people of Kolkata. Thank you all, and Dhanyavad.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, Honorable Madam Calderon, Ambassador of Venezuela. When I was listening to her speech, I was feeling warmth of her heart, warmth of the revolutionaries of Venezuela, who are facing the economic blockade, or so-called economic sanctions, as they say nowadays. This month, the Russian Center for Science and Culture in Kolkata will be marking a very important event, as this film session will be over by 25th. 26th of January, India will be celebrating its Republic Day, and on 27th of January, Russian Center for Science and Culture have planned to organize a unique event dedicated to the opening the season of 900 days blockade of Leningrad during the Second World War period. The whole program, the whole event has been conceptualized by no one else but Mr. Vladimir Demентьев. We welcome you all to be there, but please ensure that you will register your name, that you will be participating at that program, because that will be for very limited people. When I was listening to her, as the people of Venezuela is fighting back the economic sanctions or the economic blockade, as the Cuban people faced earlier, till now they are facing, I was thinking how similar it is that the imperialism, fascism, dictatorship doesn't allow others to live freely, to live happily, to build their own country, to build their own nation, to have the future of their own people. We are with you, people of Venezuela. Through Madam Calderon, we convey our conviction that people of Kolkata, today we may not be hundreds of people are here, but be sure that the people of Kolkata was with Comrade Hugo Chavez and they will be with you all forever. Viva Venezuela. Now I would like to request Mr. Professor Romeo Bakci as the president of the organization and the president of this function to say a few words.
Good evening, Honorable Madam Ambassador of Venezuela, Vice Consul and Director of the Russian Center for Science and Culture in Kolkata, and all other friends. I had the great privilege of meeting the architect of the Bolivarian Revolution in Venezuela, President Hugo Chavez. And I have known that for a very long time, that it took a long time to overthrow the oligarchy which had exploited the Venezuelan people for a long time. And the oligarchs and their real backers, the Americans, have not given up. When President Maduro came to power, the Americans redoubled their efforts because they thought that they would be easily able to topple this man who did not have the charisma of President Chavez. But they have learned to their cost that it is not easy to overthrow a man who still stands for the majority of the people of Venezuela. I am glad to be here with two representatives of two countries which are in the forefront of fight against American imperialism, which is trying to bring practically all the other countries than the North American Treaty Organization countries under its influence. In fact, it is also trying to persuade NATO countries to do things that they don't want to do. I am sure that as in the past, the people of West Bengal will know how to stand up to the kind of imperialist threat that the Americans have posed also to this country, and will support Venezuela and Russia in their fight, in their common fight against imperialism. I hope that you will enjoy the films that were going to be projected here. With these words, I now leave this podium.
Thank you, Professor Bakci. We have a wonderful moment now for all of us. Mr. Shantanu Dey of Friends of Latin America, who has written a book on Hugo Chavez. I would like to request Madam Ambassador, Mr. Demintiev and Professor Bakci to come together in front, and the book will be released.
Viva Chávez!
So thank you very much. We are also having with us Bhavna Sharma of the Embassy of Venezuela in India. I would like to request her to come to the dais. Bhavna Sharma. Where is she? No. Bhavna is the person who was with us during the last month actually, and I would like to greet Bhavna with a small gift. And I would like to request Shumon to hand over this gift. Just please be in front so that the photographs also should be taken.
Thank you so much.
Please be there. একটু সরে আসুন এদিকটা, ওকে যেতে দিন ওদিকটা, আপনি এদিক দিয়ে চলে আসুন প্লিজ। This is for her. She was the main instrument and we tortured her for the last few days. I would like to request Mr. Calderon to please come here. Who is the man behind the screen, but I would like to ask him to be in front of the screen. So Mr. Alonso, please give him a big hand. This is a small token of love from the organization and from the people of Kolkata. We would like to take few minutes from you, because we have to prepare the stage for the film session. We'll be screening the main feature that you know, but before the main film, we'll be showing also a short documentary on Venezuela. So I believe that you will all enjoy. It's a very, very short film in literary words itself. Sorry, I made a big mistake. It was not the thing we have done, completed. I would like to request our guests to come and ignite the lamp as the formal inauguration, which is the most important part. Welcome. Please. অভিভাবককে ডেকে দাও সঙ্গে। So, officially the festival is open. I would like to request our honored guests, if they have time, to be in the auditorium and enjoy with all of us the films. By this time, we will take little time from you to prepare the stage. Thank you very much.